Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel.
Limit is 35
Got
miles per
a
hour.
SK modified
Don't cross the white line.
race for you here.
Okay,
We are in
Jake,
the
we've
open
got
series
2
at
laps to get
North
the job
Wilkesboro
done, mate.
Speedway for week 2, going out for qualifying. Gonna try to put up the best lap that I can. I've been struggling with qualifying so far this season, and this track combination just doesn't go well for me. It's kind of a bit of an odd line, and I've not really felt like I've been able to figure out the setup or the car this week, at least not compared to how I was at Linear. So I'm just gonna put the best in that I can. It's a bit of a smaller field, so I'm hoping that helps it be a little bit cleaner. Hopefully I can try to take advantage of that and get a little bit better of a finishing position. So qualified 4th right now, getting a second lap in. Hopefully it's a little bit faster. Want to try to get myself to 3rd to get to that inside row if I can, but we'll have to see. Looks like it will be slightly faster. Don't know if it's enough to move me into 3rd though, so not too far off of pole sitter, I believe. Looks like we're still sitting 4th. Yeah, about 400ths off or so. Was almost there to being able to get to sorry, switching over to race setup. Was almost there to getting into 3rd to the inside row, but should pretty tight field for the most part, 1st through 8th. Only about a 10th, just under 2/10, so should be a pretty close race. I think unfortunately that's going to lead to some aggressive driving and some issues that way, just because this track, like a lot of tracks with the SK, when there's not a lot of off throttle time, it's all about keeping the momentum up, and passing becomes very difficult when that's the case if you want to do it cleanly and not just knock somebody out of the way. And the other hard part about this one too is that the line you have to take, you kind of have to stay out a lot more before you turn in. You kind of ride the wall on the entry of turn 1 and the entry of turn 3 a lot longer, and it almost feels like it opens up the door for the car to come on the inside. But the way you cut back down makes it so that you can end up having a lot of collisions between the car that was running the preferred line coming down, and you get a lot of left rear to right front contact. Especially it's difficult for like me who's on a single screen, is a very limited FOV.
That's the end of the session.
It can be pretty tough that way. So just hopefully we can get a decent start, not have to have those issues. Tried to run one of these before and it just ended very, very badly with a wreck right off the start, literally in the first corner. So hopefully I can avoid that situation and not have any problems. May have to give up a spot or two. We are car 6. There's 11 in total. I believe the race split twice. So because of the limits on field size, that's how we got in this one. I'm thinking it's a top split, although not entirely sure. If this is not the top split, then the top split's going to be a really good strength of field. This one will be probably about average for my eye reading in relation to that, so probably on the weaker end overall, but just going to try to see if I can get away, hopefully be able to get a clean start, get through the first lap or two, get it sorted out, get to the inside,
track temp is
and then
40 laps.
Just hopefully find a way to get sorted out and see if I can stay within the top 5 or start working my way up, any further ahead if possible.
In the outside column.
Waited to start the car just because I'm kind of running it right on the edge of fuel, so was trying to save rear weight if I could. If you're building a setup for this, if you're that tight, it's probably better for you to just add a gallon in and know that you're good that way. These races are a lot easier, I think, to calculate how much fuel you're going to burn, because obviously there's no cautions in them, so never have to worry about, coming up with too much extra because you carried it for all green, or the other way around, you end up short because you planned on more cautions. So I should have enough, but we'll just see. I'm going to try to keep it as clean as I can. Again, it's definitely an interesting track for sure, with the downhill front stretch and the uphill backstretch. Nothing against the track, like I said, with these cars, it's just not one of my favorite combinations, and that's not just because I don't seem to excel as well as I would like to at it. I don't enjoy this, compared to even linear can be this way, a bit that way, but I enjoy linear more than I enjoy this. So I'm just gonna try to make the most of it, see if I can get a decent finish, get a good race for you guys, try to get a 0x out of it, get 40 clean, no incidents, and try to see where we come away.
Jake, get ready.
Leader goes as soon as the pace car pulls in. We're going to have the outside line, we're going to have the 10 to the inside, and we've also got the 2 looking in behind him. Just got to stay to the outside right now, kind of watch and see how this sorts out, see if it's worth following the 5 through or where I'm going to go. 5's able to get by the 10. Looks like we might have had some contact between the 2 and the 4 behind. Able to clear the 10, so that was actually a pretty good start in order to get by the 10 to get into the 3rd. Was not what I was expecting out of it, so now's the time to just see where I sort out how the pace is going to be. We got the 2 moving to the inside of the 10, which kind of expected at some point. Almost 3 wide back there. Looked like it was just 2 wide between the 4 and the 10 possibly. 5 seems like he might be a bit off the pace. See if we can try to find a spot to get by him. Yeah, he's definitely a bit slower through the corners right now. I'm not sure if he's trying to save tires a little bit, but I think this is, you know, you drive it as easy as you can, but you're going to go when you can. See if I can try to get to the inside of the 5, get by him going into the corner. Gonna have to tap the brakes just to keep it on the inside. Able to clear the 5. Not sure if he's going to try to look inside. He lays back. So able to get into 2nd without any problems. 2 easily could sneak back up to us, get on by. So we'll just have to see how that sorts out if I end up falling back to 3rd. But hopefully the 5 will act as a bit of a pick and a block for a little while for me.
That lap was at 17.81.
Missed the corner a little bit, got too high. Do have some slower traffic now. Might have been a wreck off the beginning. Looks like the 10's actually fallen all the way back to 9th after starting 3rd. So let's have to see how quickly we get by him. 1 or the 3's able to pull away as the leader. He's got a big gap. I don't know if I'll be able to get to him unless he really falls off. But to move up to 2nd, I'm definitely really happy with that start. So now it's just about starting to click off the laps, making sure I don't make any driving errors. Keep it out of the wall, keep it off the grass, keep it off the curb through 3 and 4, and this should give me a better shot at a halfway decent finish. Looks like pulling away from the 5 a bit. Overshot the entry to 3 and 4 a little bit, but overall not too bad. Able to save it. Just end up, it's coming off the wall so hard to try to straighten the corners out that it's definitely a funky line for sure. And then again, with the difference between, you know, entering the corner downhill versus entering it uphill also changes things a little. Big gap back to the 5. He's definitely holding up the 2 like I wanted. Almost a 2nd lead or gap there. Check the gap out to the 3 as well. See if we're able to gain it all. Looked like he did bounce off the wall through the front stretch. 1.5 out there. 0.9 back to the 5.
That lap time was 17.79.
Realistically, though, I'd have to be starting to get to the 3 in the next probably 10 laps or so, you know, to have a decent shot, because passes can take a while here to make as well. 10's going to go to the inside. I'm just going to take that shot by him, try to get by the 11. Kind of had to start high, cut down. That was the easiest way to clear them without losing too much time. Hopefully that'll also hold up the 5 a little bit. Lost a little bit of time to the 3 there, but also gained time on the 5, so 2nd place seems like a pretty good spot to ride right now. I'm assuming the 3's probably built a pretty good setup and is a decent driver, so not sure if we're going to get any kind of tire fall off there out of him, you know, more in relation than what I'm going to have. Wear percentage is never typically a big deal in these cars. You typically just end up overheating the tires, and that'll act like your tires are falling off a lot more. So he's starting to pull away, although I'm pulling away from the 5. So kind of expected that, honestly, given that, you know, I didn't really feel incredibly confident over the setup that I had built. I thought it would be an okay car, you know, maybe top half, but just not quite good enough to contend for a win in, you know, against a decent driver. But I'm going to keep digging, give it everything I've got, try to keep the leader in sight. With me getting back into these open setups, my goals are typically to be within a 10th of a lap average. So for here, you know, most of these tracks with them being all but one of the races are 40 laps. If I can be within about 4 seconds of the leader, wherever I finish, that makes me happy with the setup, at least right now. And as I start to remember how to figure out the cars, build some more competitive setups, and my driving improves, then I'll want to tighten that goal down, maybe 3/4 of a second, average lap difference, or half a second, something like that. And of course, that's always going to be a bit tougher if I start further back in the field, because naturally that's more time that you're behind the leader to make up. But not too bad right now. Looks like it's kind of just stabilizing, holding right around 1.6. I'm pulling away from the 5, who still has not been able to get by the 10. 10 looks like he's picked up the pace some, so that's helping out there to really ensure that I've got no pressure from behind at all. And I can just focus on trying to hit the line and get after the 10, or get after the 3, excuse me. Trying to pull away from the 10. Halfway through now, 20 down, 20 to go.
Okay, Jake, half distance. We think about 18. Laps of fuel left.
Looks like it might be a bit short on fuel. I don't know, it'll be close. I might have to start lifting a little bit to try to conserve. I didn't think it would be burning off that much, but pace may have picked up, so just got to keep digging, do what I can. If I end up falling short, that'll be my fault for cutting it that close, and you guys will see something that's super frustrating. So may switch the fuel over so that if I have to come in, it's a very minimal stop. Gonna drop that all the way down just to get a gallon into the car to make it through. And also gonna uncheck tires so that I don't have to sit on pit road any longer than have to. Kind of giving up time by doing this. Lap times have fallen off quite a bit, but I'm okay there. Got a pretty good gap out back, so I've kind of almost conceded the lead to the 3, and just kind of going into conservation mode right now to see if I can limp the car home on the fuel. Kind of going fast there, got a little too low, but got a good gap back to the 5. 2 hasn't been able to get by him. 2's actually fallen back. There's about a second gap there, so got 15 to go, and we're about 4/10 of a lap to the good right now. So gonna try to see if I can save a little bit more, and then hopefully get to the point where I feel confident enough that it'll make it, that I can just push as hard as I want. So car's a bit loose through the middle of 3 and 4, which is kind of a compromise I had to make in order to get the car to feel decent through 1 and 2. It kind of almost feels like a Darlington, in that you're sacrificing one corner to get the other corner better. So the way, for me, I wanted to be a little bit moderate, neutral through 1 and 2, I was going to create the loose conditions in 3 and 4, so just created an area where I needed to drive the car a little bit differently in terms of my throttle application through 3 and 4 in order to make that work. Which adds to the fun, in a setup. It just, in these cars, like I said, it's just such a unique combination and momentum and the way the line is and everything that makes it kind of tough. So we'll check the fuel mileage in 2 laps when I got 10 to go, and just kind of see where I'm at. Feel like I've kind of been just rolling into the throttle a little bit later, and to try to save. Got a big gap back to 3rd to the 5. It's 5 seconds, or almost 3 seconds, excuse me. So plenty of time there. The 2's actually starting to close up a little bit, but I'm even pulling away from the 10 a little bit, so no pressure at all. Gained about a 1/10 of a lap, so about half a lap to the good right now. Probably could drive about a normal pace. Still just going to kind of run it through the middle, because I don't see me getting to the 3 at all unless the 3 has problems. And I've got such a big gap back to 2nd that back to 3rd, that there's no real reason to risk losing that, because I wanted to try to push and get back to the 3 when it probably was not going to happen. So should be able to keep it within my 4-second goal of 10th of lap average, and know that if I would have just added a gallon, I probably could have the ability to push a little bit harder. So the grass again gets me a little bit loose. Just got to keep it above that. That grass can easily rip the the car around, kind of acts like it's stopping the left front from gripping and just sends it around. So 7 to go now. Check the fuel again, actually picked up a little bit, so doing pretty good. Don't feel like I should run out. It'll definitely be close, but don't think we should have any problems coming up on the 11, who is in 9th. Actually been a pretty clean race, especially compared to the one I ran. That one was just absolutely brutal. I think there were 17 cars or 16 cars in it, and only 3 finished on the lead lap, and only like 2 or 3 were 1 lap down. Everybody else was 2 more laps down. So it was just an absolutely brutal race in terms of just contact and everything everywhere. So this one is a much more welcome race. I think that one, I think part of the problem, that was a single split. There's really low rated drivers in it that just kind of created some problems. So come across the line, 4 to go, 3 looks like he blinked. I guess it could be nice if he would disconnect and we could pull away with the win, but obviously I would love to just get it a win on speed, not on, you know, some unfortunate break like that. But at the same time, it's racing. I'm going to take the wins as they come. If that were to happen, I don't think that will. 3 to go this time by, so just pushing it now. You know, getting back into what I feel is kind of a normal rhythm and normal pace, just to see if I can match what the 3's doing at this point. I feel like we're actually closing in slightly on him, so probably have a bit of pace, although I just overshot that corner. You know, just, I don't know, it would have been close. I probably did not have the front end speed that the 3 did, so, and when you're the leader, you can definitely get away from the traffic off the initial start a lot better. So my guess is probably didn't have enough pace to be able to get to the 3, but you know, might have been able to hang a little bit closer had I had the non-fuel concerns. But you know, glad to get a full race in there. Glad to have been able to move up 2 spots at a track that you know, is probably going to be pretty tough to pass. Great race to the 3. Would have loved to be able to compete with them, but you know, really happy to just bring it home in second. Actually brought it home with emptied the tank out now, so yeah, not a bad race at all. Pretty happy with that. It was relatively clean. Glad we were able to get 40 green in, or excuse me, 40 clean. Take a look at the tires, see, 91.89, so balance wasn't too bad overall. Tire wear, like I said, I mean, you're gonna see that's probably on the high side. I probably could have made it even more efficient, but overall, you know, not too bad. Tire temps are fairly balanced for the most part, which makes me happy. So go check the results, see how that did. Hopefully recover iRating and safety rating that I lost trying to get the first one, and also get it back on the right track and just keep it going up. So that was the top split, 2276. So you know, weak field overall in terms of strength of field, but compared to my rating, obviously a little bit stronger. So just under 3.5 seconds back, about 8/10 off on, or 800ths off on fast lap. So we were pretty much second fastest car on the track, finished right where we should. So fairly happy with that. 77 I rating, great to see. 0.18 on the safety, so 2.5. Hopefully, you know, there are 3 or 4 races like that, should be able to get that above the 3.0 range, and hopefully within a week or 2 be back to A license. Just under 2250 for I rating, so that's probably almost the highest I've been since the start of season 4 2021. So just happy to get a good gain out of that, and keep climbing, trying to rebuild it, get back there. So looks like it actually counted me as leading 2 laps. I think that might have been when he was blinking. So I obviously never actually got by him. We were never near him, so that's okay with me. But yeah, glad to have gotten by the 5 and the 10 cleanly off the start. Those were big, and glad to come away with that. That was a much cleaner race as a whole. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Any setup tips you guys have, any feedback, driving lines, whatever, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. I know some of you were saying that you love seeing the SKs and stuff. So gonna try to run the full season of this. Try to do some tour mod races as well. Get both of those in. So hopefully get some stuff you guys enjoy, and try to help boost these fields, get them back to where they used to be. Instead of the lower participation that they've been, and show that you can be an average driver, run open setup, and still have a shot to at least come away with a top 5 or a top 3 every week. So. Love to hear from you guys. Remember to like and subscribe. Stay tuned for more races. And until the next one, hopefully all your laps are fast, your races are clean, and your finishes are good. Thanks for watching.